Imagine, if you will, the deep quiet of an ancient Egyptian night. You know, the huge desert all around, stars blazing, and then somewhere, someone is whispering, softly, deliberately. And these aren't just casual words. They're chosen, spoken in a certain way, believed to hold real power, like a connection to something bigger.
Absolutely. We're talking about a time when language itself was seen as, well, almost a kind of technology.
A technology, how so?
A sacred technology capable of weaving, protection and guidance right into reality.
Wow. Okay, so that's what this deep dive is all about. We're peeling back the layers on these ancient incantations.
Yeah.
Specifically, we're zoning in on the appeals made to Anubis, the jackal-headed god.
Yeah.
We want to understand what these whispered words really meant to the people saying them.
Going beyond just the surface meaning.
Exactly. Trying to get at the belief system, the very human needs behind it all. Our mission today is really to distill the essence of these spells for protection and guidance, using the fantastic source material we've got.
It's fascinating stuff.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We've been looking at these excerpts from Anubis, Incantations for Protection and Guidance, and what jumps out at me first isn't just what they prayed for, but the whole act of saying it. It feels like more than just asking.
It absolutely was. The sources call them the whispered incantations. It suggests, a certain atmosphere.
Right, like privacy or reverence.
Both, probably.
Yeah.
Hushed reverence, maybe in a quiet home, maybe somewhere more sacred like a temple area. The feeling would have been intense, really focused.
So a personal ritual act.
Definitely. Designed to make sure the words landed, basically. Channeling belief into every single sound.
And they knew exactly who they were talking to. It wasn't just shouting into the void. The texts say they were seeking the protector, specifically Anubis. For listeners who might know the basics of Egyptian myth, why Anubis? What made him the right one for these kinds of appeals?
That's really key. Anubis isn't just some random god. He's intrinsically linked to those in-between places. Like the threshold between life and death. The known and the unknown. He was the god of mummification, embalming, literally preparing people for the afterlife.
Okay, so a guardian of that transition.
Exactly. And also the opener of the ways. He guided souls through the underworld, the duat. So he's an embalmer, a guardian, a guide.
A psychopomp.
Precisely. That made him the perfect protector against, the chaos that could threaten both the living and the dead. He knew the dangers. He knew the paths.
So calling on him was like accessing expert knowledge.
In a way, yes. Tapping into someone who really understood vulnerability, death, and the way through it all.
And the texts emphasize it wasn't just thinking about him, it was actively invoking the power, calling his name directly. What's the deal with naming in Egyptian magic? It feels important.
Oh, it's crucial. It wasn't just symbolic. In ancient Egypt, the Ren, the true name, held immense power.
Like the essence of the being.
Kind of, yeah. To know and speak the Ren of a god or even a demon gave you a degree of influence. So when they invoked Anubis by name,
they were making a direct connection.
A direct line, believed to be immediate and potent. It wasn't just wishing. It was an act designed to draw his attention, his power, part of activating Heka, the divine magical energy believed to be part of the cosmos itself. Naming was a way to harness it.
Okay, so they established this connection.
Yeah.
Then what? What were they actually asking for? You mentioned a dual purpose. The first one seems to be the shield of protection, like a literal shield.
Pretty much, yeah. The core idea was explicitly to ward off evil. But evil was quite specific for them.
Not just general bad vibes.
No. It could be diseases, fevers, snake bites, very real threats, or, the evil eye, curses from enemies, or unseen things like demons or hostile spirits.
Things lurking in the shadows.
Exactly. And Anubis, connected as he was to the dead, those thresholds, was seen as the ideal defense against all that chaos, that Isfet, that cosmic order, or Ma'at.
So they wanted him to create a kind of protective bubble.
A divine force field, essentially, keeping the bad stuff out.
Makes sense. But you said it wasn't all defensive. The spells also had a plea for guidance. And it's so direct. Guide us. What kind of guidance? Were they lost? Or is it deeper?
It's deeper, definitely. Yeah. Protection dealt with external threats, right? Guidance was more about the internal journey, life's complexities, the afterlife's unknowns.
And Anubis fits that too, as the opener of the ways.
Perfectly. He could offer wisdom for decisions, help understanding dreams, give moral clarity, and crucially, guide the soul safely after death.
So it wasn't just about avoiding danger, but knowing which way to go.
Exactly that, both in this life and the next.
So looking at the big picture, Why both? Protection and guidance, almost always together it seems. Why was that pairing so important?
Well, it speaks to how they understood true security. It wasn't enough just to be safe from harm.
You also needed to know what to do.
Right. You needed direction, you needed to live according to Ma'at, you needed to ensure you navigated the afterlife correctly. Protection without guidance leaves you safe, but maybe lost.
And guidance without protection makes you vulnerable.
Precisely. Anubis embodied both needs, the guardian and the guide. It shows this really profound understanding that you need both a shield and a compass to truly thrive here and hereafter.
And the reach of these spells, it wasn't just for, say, the person saying them right then. One detail that really struck me was for the living and the dead.
Yeah, that's huge, isn't it?
It really is. It connects things in a way we don't often think about.
It reflects their fundamental view of existence. Death wasn't an endpoint, it was a transition. The dead were still part of the community, just in a different way.
So Anubis protected the living from, maybe, angry spirits?
Yes, that could be part of it. But just as importantly, he was invoked to ensure the dead person's own journey went well.
Through the duat.
Exactly. The deceased faced their own dangers, demons, traps, the big judgment before Osiris. Anubis was involved in the mummification, guiding the soul, even present at the weighing of the heart ceremony. He was essential for a good outcome.
So these spells were like a safety net across both sides of existence.
You could say that. It shows how their concerns spanned everything, weaving protection across both worlds. It wasn't just about my life now, but the whole cycle.
Amazing. And underpinning all of this, the sources are clear. There was a strong belief in magic. This wasn't just hoping for the best, was it?
Oh, absolutely not. Their idea of Heka, what we call magic, was way more complex than just superstition.
Right, you mentioned Heka before.
It was seen as a fundamental force of the universe, present since creation, wielded by gods, and potentially by humans, too.
So believing in magic wasn't like believing in fairy tales, it was like believing in physics.
Kind of. It was their understanding of how reality worked. These incantations weren't just requests. They were seen as actively participating with Heka, using words, maybe gestures, and definitely God's name, to influence things and maintain order.
So, a sort of spiritual science.
That's a good way to put it, practical and spiritual.
Okay, so if they truly believed these spells worked, that they were activating something real, did that have an effect in itself? The material talks about an echo of faith, and that people found peace.
Yes, and that's incredibly important. The ritual wasn't just external, it was profoundly internal, too.
The psychological side.
Exactly. That echo of faith suggests that the very act of performing these rituals, believing in them, brought real psychological comfort. A sense of control, maybe.
In a world that must have often felt very unpredictable.
Precisely. Invoking Anubis, doing the rituals, it could reduce anxiety, provide a feeling of security, reinforce their connection to the divine order.
So the peace they found was part of the protection itself.
Absolutely. A legacy of protection, as the source puts it. It gave them resilience, hope, knowing this powerful guardian was looking out for them. It addressed the whole person, body and soul, external and internal.
What an incredible journey through these whispers from the past. We started with those hushed appeals to Anubis, then saw the very specific things they asked for. That shield against all kinds of evil, both physical and, spiritual.
And the equally vital need for guidance.
Right, guidance through life, through death, and then that scope for the living and the dead, linking everything together. It's quite profound.
It really is. And ultimately, what these incantations show us isn't just about ancient Egypt. It's about, timeless human needs.
It's security and clarity.
Exactly. That yearning for safety from the unknown and for some kind of light on the path ahead. The figures might change, the beliefs might evolve, but that core impulse, it's still here.
They just had this incredibly sophisticated way of addressing it through Anubis.
A whole spiritual system built around those fundamental desires.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? As you go about your day, maybe think about your own, well, maybe unspoken incantations. Those little moments where you seek safety or hope for clarity, a quiet wish before something important maybe, a deep breath to push away stress. How do we today look for our own shields, our own guides, even if we don't call them that? How do we tap into our own sense of a protective framework, something to think about?